Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Williams channel, and welcome to your weekly Wednesday Night War preview. I would have gotten this episode out yesterday, but I was a bit busy in the morning, and then when I got home, I ended up recording a new episode of All Elite with Logan Stunts. Make sure you guys go check that out. We basically talked the whole time. I don't even know if we really watched AEW Dark. I mean, I didn't really need to watch AEW Dark because I've seen it already. But we talked the whole time. It was a nice conversation. You end up hearing a lot of good stories about how I met Logan and the time Marco Stunt basically got $20 out of me. But if you guys want to hear about those stories and all the fun times we had, go check out that episode of All Elite. That should be premiering sometime today before the Wednesday Night War stream happens. That being said, I will be doing my preview for this week's episode of NXT and AEW. NXT has 2 matches announced this week, as they did like a few weeks ago, which doesn't really help their case. AEW has announced their full card. I love the fact that AEW announces their full card, so I know what I'm getting into with these shows. So I appreciate them a lot more. NXT, they did it last week where they announced most of the matches on our card, but I'll get into NXT in a little bit and the problem I'm starting to have with them. I might save it for another video, I don't know. But let's get straight into NXT. Speak of the devil, and they shall appear. So the first match we have announced here, and the first of 2 we have announced here, is Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Now, this is not really announced as a #1 contenders match for the NXT Women's Championship, but it's basically seen as that. Both women are seemingly gunning for Shayna Baszler, so I would like to believe the winner of this match should be in line for a championship match. If I had to pick a winner, it's very hard to say, honestly. It could go either way, but I'm going to say Rhea Ripley wins this match. She didn't really have a fair fight against Shayna Baszler because I think she lost the match by DQ, whereas Bianca Belair passed out. So I guess if you compare and contrast, though, which woman deserves a rematch more, I guess it'd be Rhea Ripley since she was kind of screwed. So I'm going to go Rhea Ripley win this match. And I'm going to presume is the main event, and I know it's not going to be a 2-match show. We have Roderick Strong defending his NXT North American Championship against Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. I thought last week was the overmatch between Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic, but I guess not because they're having another match this week. As great as their matches are, as good as their matches are, I'm not a fan of repeat matches. You guys know this. So I'm hoping after this week, this is the last time I see these guys in the ring with each other for a while. I don't want to see them teaming up. I don't want to see them in triple threats or fatal fours or 6-mans or anything. I want to see them apart from each other for a while. I'm going to go Roderick Strong to retain his title here. I don't know exactly who he's going to lose it to, but he just won it on like the first NXT on USA Network, which is like 2 months ago. See, he ain't losing that title just yet. So I'm going to go Roddy to win this match. And that's NXT for the week. I'm assuming that the next batch of matches for NXT will be basically squash matches. It seems like half of NXT is just squash matches, but I'll get into that in another video. Then we get into AEW Dynamite. So we have 2 segments announced this week. And I know a lot of people have been kind of up in arms about AEW not really having a lot of segments, and it just seems to be match after match after match after match after match. So we're getting some open mics. 2 open mic segments on the show. The first one is going to be Britt Baker in Britsburg, as the segment's called. Now, this seems to be a segue for a match because at first when I saw this card, I said, wow, there's no women's matches. That's pretty weird. I mean, I don't think I would necessarily be like, angry if there was no women's matches, but that's weird to not have any at all. But then I heard that a lot of people were saying that, oh, this is a segue for Britt Baker's match against Jamie Hayter. And I said, Jamie Hayter? I heard that name before. Doesn't Jamie Hayter? No, that's Charlie Evans. I'm thinking of Charlie Evans and Millie McKenzie. I've heard the name Jamie Hayter before. I heard she's really good, so I'm looking forward to that match. She's probably going to lose to Britt Baker, but I'm looking forward to it. Open mic with Britt Baker. Don't know what she's going to say, but there is something. I said it in my episode of All Elite. I'll probably play a clip of it right here for you guys in case you guys want to get a little snippet of my conversation with Logan Stunt. There is something about Britt Baker that I just feel like I do not like about her. I don't know what it is.
You don't like Britt Baker?
No, I like her, but there's something dislikable about her. Do you see it? There's something dislikable about her that I feel like would make her a better heel.
You think she'd be a good heel?
There's something dislikable about her, but I can't put my finger on it. She looks like one of those girls in high school that like bully people. She looks like one of those chicks. Am I the only one who sees this?
I don't know. I don't. She's nice. She was nice to me at least.
Like,
you think she could just play a really good heel?
Yes.
There's something that somebody would hate because she could play a good heel.
Yes, I'm not saying anything about her personally.
Well,
I'm saying there's something about
no,
her
I
that
know.
is just likable. So yeah, I think maybe this might be a segue for a heel turn. Who knows? But then we got another open mic with Cody, who'll be talking out about Chris Jericho. What he'll say, I'm not too sure. I like to think that this could lead to a tag team match set up for next week between Cody, Dustin versus Jericho, and I guess you don't want to do Jericho and Sammy. Maybe Jericho and Jake Hager versus Cody and Dustin. That'd be a nice tag team match to set up next week. I mean, how many weeks are they out from Full Gear? 2 weeks out? I think they're 2 weeks out. Yeah, they're about a good 2 weeks. They got 2 weeks left of television for Full Gear, so they could probably do that match next week and maybe do another 6-man. I don't know. You don't want to do too many Cody, Chris Jericho, like, face-to-faces or matches, but at least one tag or 2 tag team matches will get a good feel for their match coming at Full Gear in 2 weeks. But then we get into the next batch. We have three tag team matches on the show. Now, last week, a lot of people are calling it overkill with how many tag team matches we have on the show. And my thing is, as long as the tag team matches are good or great, I don't have a problem with it. Now, I know New Japan is doing a Super Juniors tag league, so if you hate tag team matches, a bunch of tag team matches, then you're going to hate that tournament, which is why I'm personally not really watching all that much. But anyway, so the first tag team match has nothing to do with the tag team tournament. We have the Best Friends versus the Young Bucks. So this has nothing to do with the tournament. Both teams already been eliminated. But it's going to be a fun match. This is going to be a fun match. I feel like Chucky T, Beretta, or Trent, with a question mark, they're a good tag team with good chemistry. The Young Bucks, they're a great tag team with great chemistry and really great arsenal of tag team moves, and dynamic between the two is going to really work. Who wins? I'm going to say the Young Bucks wins. No really particular reason why, but Young Bucks wins. Maybe to give them some momentum going into the tag team match, I assume. They're going to be having a Full Gear with LAX. Next match we have here that was recently just announced, like, I think 12 hours ago. Now, this match is originally going to be, and I swear, this match was announced probably an hour prior to the match change. This match is originally Joey Janela versus Jack Evans. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Joey Janela and Jack Evans. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of Jack Evans' work. He's a spotty guy, but he's one of my favorite spotty guys. So I'm like, oh, Jack Evans on TV, that's pretty good for him. But then they changed it. They said because of the fanfare and the fan reactions to the match on AEW Dark, they've announced and changed it to Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. Now, I'm not opposed to seeing this match. I'm just like, oh, all right, I just did Jack Evans dirty here, but Kenny Omega, Joey Janela, part 2. All right, let's go. They had a good match. A good unsanctioned match last week, which technically is not in the record books because it's an unsanctioned match. So this is technically their first match, I guess. I was talking with Logan Stun about this, and I was telling him how, I was like, okay, well, Joey Janela, I've seen Joey in a lot of death matches and all that kind of stuff. Like, can he hang with Kenny Omega, in ring-wise? I don't know. He's like, yeah, he can. I think he can. I'm like, all right, well, we'll see tonight if Joey Janela can have. I'm sure Kenny Omega can bring him to a great match, but we'll see tonight if Joey Janela can hang with Kenny Omega in the ring. We then get into the semifinals of the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. We have the Dark Order versus SCU. SCU. Scorpio Sky and Frank Kazarian have been the new tag team inserted into this tournament as Lucha Brothers laid out Christopher Daniels with a packaged pile driver on the apron, literally in Philadelphia before their match even started, and that got Scorpio Sky into the tournament instead. I don't know exactly why that spot happened, but he's in the tournament now. Who wins is a very, very interesting one. This is actually a little bit more difficult to guess as we get into this tournament, given that a lot of the teams I wanted to go on or expected to go on really didn't move on. Especially Jurassic Express. But, yeah, my winning team was out pretty early, so In this, I originally wanted to say Dark Order wins. My original pick was Dark Order makes it to the finals. Now I'm not too sure because SCU made it far and Lucha Brothers are kind of having this a little bit of a feud going on. I'm going to say SCU beats Dark Order here and shuts them down pretty early with an upset win. Then we get into the next match, Jon Moxley versus Pac, coming off of their match last week where Jon Moxley threw the barbed wire broomstick at Kenny Omega and he grabbed the barbed wire bat and they're about to go at it, and Pac just kind of threw the weapons out of the ring like, hey, you do realize we're going to get disqualified, right? Like, I'm so sick of your shit, Moxley. And Moxley laid him out and just walked away and let Pac get pinned. So that led into their match this week. WWE marks are probably going insane about this. Like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening in AEW. Oh my god. I ain't even gonna lie, I'm pretty intrigued by that concept too. But who wins the match? I will probably say Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley actually has a match at Full Gear where Pac doesn't. So even though Pac, has the most momentum out of the two, I think Jon Moxley derails Pac a little bit and wins this match. You cannot protect everybody, and Jon Moxley has a match at Full Gear. Pac doesn't, so I believe that Jon Moxley wins this match. Then what I presume will be the main event of the night, we have the semifinals of the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament, Pride Party versus the Lucha Brothers. Both teams have put on some stellar tag team matches in this tournament so far. Even though there's only been like one quarterfinal match, but both have had notably good tag team matches at a tag team tournament. So it's only fitting that these two make it to the semifinals against each other. It's very hard. Considering I chose SCU, I really wanted it to come down to Dark Order and Pride Party, but I since flipped my answers both ways, and I think Lucha Brothers will end up winning this match and go to the finals with SCU. Given the whole setup last week, I feel like it's all but set in stone we're getting SCU versus Lucha Brothers in the finals, which now I don't like the fact that they did the whole SCU beat. I still don't understand why that even happened. Like, when it happened, I was there in Philadelphia last week and I was confused. I'm like, what? Why are they attacking them? What's the beef? Why did they do that? Like, I understand they established them as heels, but I still to this day don't understand why that happened. But now that they kind of established that feud, I feel like it's really only fitting we get this at the finals. And maybe they have a spot where SCU cost Lucha Brothers the match and Pride Party wins instead, and then Lucha Brothers cost SCU. I don't know. That's overbooking. I don't know. I love AEW so far because it seems unpredictable what's happening. However, if SCU and Lucha Brothers makes it to the final round, it would seem telegraphed. And that is my prediction for this week's Wednesday Night Wars. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know. Once again, look out for my upload coming out in a few hours. All Elite. I spoke to Logan Stunt. We were watching AEW Dark. And as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be going live on YouTube for the Wednesday Night Wars stream where I will be watching both NXT and AEW Dynamite. Thank you all for listening again. I love you guys always, and I will see you all tonight. Peace out, guys.